Hey everyone, this video is going to be about the AirTV, and first of all, this is the setup, and I'm going to take you from the setup to navigating through the AirTV. So you just follow the instructions, setting up your device, and so on. So go through it however you want to do it. Now this is cut for time. So first it's going to do a software update, system update. So that lasted, I think, about 4 minutes. So then it's going to reboot, and so I think 15 to 20 minutes. So there it's rebooting. So this whole process is cut down pretty short. I did a longer form video. It was 48 minutes, I think, and I'll put that up in the top corner. But here, once it gets done updating the system software, it's going to update some apps. So this took a little while, took a couple minutes. And of course, you want, before you start this, you're going to want the TV that you're going to play it on. You're going to want it all set up with internet. I had it directly. I had a hard line, but you can do the wireless, but it's probably best if it's a hard line first. So and the wireless is really good, probably the best I've ever seen. 30 feet, and it still has a 75% signal. So the distance, it can really transmit far, a lot further than a lot of the generic Android boxes like the Z97 I've got. So here it goes through all this. I recommend you sign in to your Google account so you can have access to Google Play, that kind of thing. And I did that later on. I've got this first part is just the setup. I've got a whole new video taken a little bit from my 48, but I've got all new audio on it. So before we do that, I thought large text would be nice, but it said it's going to collect personal data and credit card numbers, and that really kind of freaked me out. So I did not want to do that at all. I'm not sure what that's all about. If that's AirTV want to collect credit card numbers and passwords, that's really strange. I don't know why anyone would want to do that. Okay, now firmware is updating your remote. So you want to either set it down or keep it pointed to the unit, and don't move it away or turn it in a different direction, because it's updating it. And of course it says it's going to take 8 minutes, and I fast forward through this. So let me see, what else did I want to say? The buttons. I'll go through the buttons. There's you're going to need the diamond. That takes you to your apps, the guide. There's some really, once you get used to the remote, it's really easy to navigate. And it also has a voice button. So you can hit the Google Voice button and say like a show you want, and it should search for it and bring up the results. So a lot of times I use that to, like, if I'm in Google Play, I'll also hit that, and then it will just enter my words. So the keyboard isn't too bad. It's just a straight keyboard, and you just arrow over. It's not a compressed keyboard or anything. Okay, the firmware's updated. So I did want to talk a little bit about the the voice, because it can work on entering form data or searching for TV shows that are currently on Sling. So scan for devices, I believe this is scanning for the over-the-air tuner, which I have hooked up to an antenna to get over 20 or 30 over-the-air channels. And you don't need to set up the remote right now, but I would. The only thing it sets up is the volume control and maybe the off and on. So when you hit the power button on the remote, it turns the unit off and the TV off. Very handy. So this is the initial login screen when you turn on the unit. It just kind of loads up a little bit. Not exactly sure if it's probably populating the guide and doing some final preparation for you to view, but it doesn't go directly to the guide. See, normally this would go to the guide, but I haven't signed in, so you will need to make an account. So you'd go to I think Watch Now, and then it'll go through. Now initially we didn't do this, go through and pick, I think we've decided on orange and blue both, and then a lot of add-ons, and here's the extras. So you just click OK, I assume, to get the different extras. And I kind of fast forward through this, and I think I'm going to go back and go a little bit slower so you can kind of see a little bit of the channels that they offer. So each one of these is an extra like $5 a month type of thing. The Blaze, the BBC, headline news, lifestyle. So there's like not quite a dozen on each. Oh, it has a total TV deal. So I wonder if that gives you all the extras for 20. I didn't read that. So you'd go through, find out what you want, hit continue, and I'd make sure you had in your email and have a long password, because this thing logs in automatically. So once you create your password, you don't really have to type it in again. So I would have something pretty strong. So I'm going to back out of this. So if you change your mind, I think you can, if you didn't put your name and password in there, you can back out. So I'm just going to go and not make an account, and I'm just going to show you. That's where, this is kind of where you hit the diamond, and that was like a place where you can have or run your apps. Now what I hit is devices, and I'm showing you the about restart. That's very important because sometimes the Sling TV will sit and spin and not load any show. So at that point, you would hit the diamond, go to settings, the gear, go to about, and then restart. So this basically is, I think, on all Android devices pretty much. Apps, display, that kind of thing. The one thing it does add extra is the AirTV. I think it's the over-the-air, or it could be the settings for the remote. So I'll just have it on auto, storage and reset. 4.9 gigs of internal share storage. So that's nice and big. You don't want to do the factory data reset because that'll put everything back to the way you found it. There's the AirTV. That's for the remote. So you would change your TV setup, change your audio setup, that kind of thing. Don't know why it has a battery. It's telling you the remote battery, I believe. what it's at, so you can keep a handle on that. Network settings. Okay, here we go into my original video, and I cut this up, but I'm going to have all new audio because I'll do this a little bit quicker, a little bit more easy to do it when you've done it before. So I'd ran a program or watched a show and hit pause, and you go hit manage and you can delete it, whatever, or go back to it and rewatch. So you'd hit the recall button twice to get back to your show. Down at the bottom, it has the ability to go to your settings and apps. But this page here is just kind of like a general setting where you can have access to your Netflix and that kind of thing. Just kind of an overall. Now, this is the guide. So you'd hit the button called guide. Now you can hit the back button at any point in this guide. Instead of going all the way to the top and then that, or all the way to the bottom, wherever you're at. See, you go all the way to the top and then you get to your grid and you can go to the My TV. But there's an easy way to do it. You just, wherever you are, like say you're down at the bottom of the guide, you just hit the back button and it will jump you up to the grid. So then you can use your arrows to go to the My TV. And this has at least 4 or more days of the guide. So you can pre-plan your watching time. Even on the over-the-air TV, it doesn't use the electronic program guide. It has its own way to get the series, episode, the year, signal strength of your antenna. If you have an external hard drive, you can do the over-the-air DVR, and I need to try that next. So when you hit watch, of course, what happened to me, it had some copyright and copyrighted material. But the arrow up, you get access to this real nice recall, and it will just send you back to that channel at the point in the show that it's at. The down arrow brings up the guide, or you've got the guide button you can also hit. There's also, if you look off to the side there, there's a play and pause button. That will actually play and pause your show if you've got it. So here's where I hit play. Here's the copyrighted material. It's just standard definition. It's no big deal. You're just going to get the quality that you get. But the Sling is super good quality. A lot better. You'll notice if you have DirecTV, it's night and day. Better quality than DirecTV. The DirecTV compresses it, and it's an awful. It's more like standard definition at this point with DirecTV. But Sling TV has some really good quality. So I was going to show you the standard definition quality, but I was afraid I was going to get tagged for or flagged for copyright material, and I did, so I had to put that in. There's where I hit the back button and just went arrow up, and that's where you can have your continue watching, or you can manage apps. Okay, here's where I hit the diamond. You can at this point go to like the VLC player. That works. Puffin browser is the only browser I was able to put on here. Firefox will not show up. You can add it, but there's no way to run it. So I don't know what that's all about. But what it does is when you go to that section of an app, it will basically turn off Sling TV to where whatever is playing, it's either not playing or whatever. So there's kind of a separation there. For this show, so I paused it, you can tell. So it's been going for like maybe another 5 minutes. So you got detail, closed caption. You can replay the whole thing. Here's where the little arrow up. So once you have to play it. I think once it kind of disappeared, I was able to use the arrows to fast forward it. But I basically figured out that you need to have this playing, or just catch it right when it disappears to do the arrow forward or backward. But most of the time you'll have to hit play, and then you can fast forward it or rewind it. But there is a way to do it as it's paused. You just have to really be quick about it. So that's probably not a good, if you don't have a good reflexes, that won't work. So you're going to have to hit play, and then you can go backward or forward. Yeah. So, yeah, once this goes off, like if it were to disappear, you have a real short window to do the fast forward. But it works pretty well, and I like the time that it displays how much you're going forward. That's really nice. Of course, the button play and pause will also unplay or unpause or play. Since I'm using an over-the-air channel, it wants me to hook a over-the-air DVR, and that's where you can play and pause. But there's some Sling TV that actually have play and pause. Let me go through the apps here. You can actually move these tiles. Google was at the beginning, so I moved it back. You just hit the OK button, hold it down, and then you can move with the arrows. So I put in Plex, VLC, that kind of thing. So whatever you can get. A lot of times it will only show up the things that are available for this to put on. It really doesn't have that much of an assortment. So I was really surprised about Firefox not being on there. That was really troubling. I couldn't even find Dolphin. That's a good one that had voice capability, but that won't be on there. So Puffin Browser was my only real option, but it's a good one. I've watched over-the-air streaming with that one. It works pretty well. As long as you get a good stream, it should be stable. I've watched hours of Fox News on there, and as long as you get a good link, the Puffin browser's stable. If it goes out, it's more likely the source of where you're getting your Flash streaming. So on this video, I'm also going over the restart. That's really important. You'll need to do that every day. So a quick way is go to the diamond and then the gear, and then about and restart. Of course, I really didn't go through the Netflix button because I don't really have it set up, or I really didn't go through the Google button. There's the arrow up. You can go through all the different stuff in a small guide if you want to keep on watching, which is real handy if you just want to see what's coming up next. There's where I hit the back button to get up to the top to see all the shows I've played. Of course, here you can select, filter out just all the channels, just the over-the-air, just the Sling. And then the Sling has marked out the blue area and the orange area. So, okay, here's the Puffin browser. It allows you to do favorites or recent. Sometimes they'll have thumbnails, which is really nice. But usually you have to go to the right and then just read what's the title of the web page and just start it. And how you navigate is the arrows up, down, left, right. You just move your arrow down. And it's really touchy when you go to the very bottom. It will try to really fast. It's a real fast scroll. So you just want to like inch it once, and then it'll move about that far. So just in your Flash, now you can hit the OK button to play it. But I'm going to go up. I think I might have cut the area out where you hit the back button. Then there's like a little area where you can go backwards, forwards in your web page, or go to the Puffin main page, or hit favorites. Then that's how you work Puffin, is hit the back button. Of course, course, I'm on Comet. That's not an over-the-air channel. It's just once you go to the internet or a app, it kind of holds on Sling TV. So that's the only thing I really see that interrupts your Sling. So here's the setup. Here's where you can change your rescan your channels over the air. I'll just go over this, and this is about the end of the video. So thanks for watching. If anyone has the DVR capability, put some comments about what that's like. There's a lot of nice elements. Stretch image that works for the over-the-air mostly. The info button, that goes to all about the show, the year it was made, the season, the episode. Really nice. There's a mute button, volume. You can see the mic. That's where you can talk into it. And the limit. I think this limits the box for how much it can pull from your internet. If you have other devices you want a little time, or have internet too, I might consider moving it down, but I just put it on best quality, because usually if I'm watching, that's what takes priority. I have like a 1 gigabits per second, and I've had no issues with flickering or anything like that. So as long as you have that kind of speed or higher, I would not use this with DSL. At least in our area, it's really bad at going out. So that's where your shows would stop. But had fiber optic 1 gigabyte per second, and that's just excellent. There's some details, but that's where you go to for your over the air. So I better leave it there. I hope this has been a short version. Hope you liked the video. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments, and keep coming back for great videos. I'll try to add, maybe if there's an over the air video, or if I can get the over air to working, I might tag this on or make another video. So hope this helped. Catch you later.